Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So as you can tell by the title, we've got quite a few things to get through. We've got some transfer speculation, which is always going to be the case, but because I've seen quite a lot of sources report the same thing, I thought I would at least bring it to your guys' attention. Does it mean that I think there's any validity to it? No, because I don't think there is, but I think it just makes quite a good talking point in terms of what you would believe to be a good or an acceptable price for Chris Rigg. So we will discuss that. Of course, there has also been some injury news regarding more Sunderland defenders, and you know, the majority of our defenders are made of Weetabix, so it doesn't come as a surprise, but still doesn't make it any less frustrating. So we will get into that as well. But before we do us a massive favour, hit the like button for me. It puts a massive smile on my face, and subscribe if you're new. There's still so many of you guys that watch video in, video out, and you aren't yet subscribed. It's totally free. Just click the subscribe button, and there we go, and you've got a smile on my face. But yeah, so we're going to get into it. So the reason I'm discussing the sort of news for the weekend's game as well against Millwall so early is because I'm going to be up for the game this weekend, but I'm going up to Sunderland early Thursday morning, very early Thursday morning, and I'm not going to be back at my setup until late Sunday night. So you might not even, I don't even think you're going to get a review of the Millwall game, unfortunately, but I thought I would just give you something this week. But yeah, if you do see us out and about in Sunderland or at the game itself, don't hesitate to say hi. It's always really good to meet you guys, and I wish I could get up to the stadium like more often than I can, but I just physically can't. So I really do relish these times that I can go up. But yeah, I am going up early Thursday morning and spending a few days up there, so I'm really looking forward to it. Whether we'll get the win, that remains to be seen. Will it be worth it? But yes, either way, we'll get into it. So Chris Rigg, there has been several different reports from several different sources reporting a bid from Spurs, from Tottenham Hotspur, a €45 million bid. That's the kind of terms that it has been presented as from different sources. So I'd say 36 million quid. If that was the case, which again, I don't think there is any real seriousness to these sources, these reports, I would snap your hand off. For Chris Rigg, 35 million is a ridiculous amount of money. Don't get me wrong, I think in 4 or 5 years' time, it's going to be well worth that amount. It's going to be well valued for that money. But as of Chris Rigg, as he is right now, if you were to offer 35 million quid, I would absolutely accept it. Absolutely, easiest decision of the season. Easiest, because that money, whether we go up or not, could really go very, very far in proving on this already decent Sunderland squad. And that's what it is. It's a decent Sunderland squad with 2 or 3 real star players, and that's what it is. But yeah, 35 million quid is a hell of a lot of money, particularly if we don't go up anyway. Particularly if we don't go up, 35 million quid to try and add to this and make it a real sort of top 2 threatening championship squad, it goes a hell of a long way. So if that was the case, I'd accept it. Do I think it's actually going on? No, I don't. I think even if someone coming off for 25 mil for Chris Rigg, I think that would be the kind of ballpark that I would absolutely take for Chris Rigg right now, and then maybe obviously a percentage of a sell on later on down the line. I think that would be my kind of comfort zone for Chris Rigg, but 35 million straight out, I would accept personally. But again, it's an interesting discussion point, so of course let me know down below what you think about that in the comments. Now, in terms of our injuries, our list of injuries, so firstly, of course, Dennis Serkin. I feel so sorry for the lads anyway, regardless of who they are. But Dennis Serkin, he plays 5 or 6 games and then he's injured. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. However, he did get called up to the England youth squads, which I was buzzing for him. I was really, really happy for him. Then he got injured and he had to pull out before he could even get there. So I don't know how long he's going to be out for. I'm not too sure. This is the nature of the nature of doing this video before seeing the pre-match presser. So anything I say in this video could be totally proven wrong in just a couple of days when Rodgers does address the press. But Trey Hume as well, this is a very, very frustrating one for me. So Trey Hume has gone to Northern Ireland. I think he's already played a game for him actually already over this international break as well. But he's had to withdraw, he's had to pull out because he has a hip injury. Now, according to the Northern Ireland manager, apparently Trey Hume has been playing with a hip injury. Even with Sunderland, he's been playing with a hip injury. And he did say that he's not even been doing proper training with Sunderland. He's just been playing through a hip injury. And now it's just got to the point where he's just in too much pain, essentially. So I don't know how much truth there is to that in terms of not doing proper training, because we have seen clips of him in training. But I don't know whether that is just a case of it's just a dormant injury that's just been sat there, this hip injury, and we've just been managing it on and off. But if anything, that just makes things 10 times more frustrating that in January, if we were aware or we had any inkling that he did have some underlying issue with his hip, and we knew that we've got the likes of Alessi, Serkin, Huggins, all made of Weetabix, and then we didn't bring in any full-back cover. That makes things so much more frustrating because now we're going to go into this weekend's game and for however long it's going to be with a back line just stuck together with sticky tape. Do you know what I mean? So we'll have to see how much validity there is to it, how true it is and how long it's going to be out for. Hopefully it is just a short period, but again, we'll have to see. But this back line of ours, it terrifies me now going into the back end of the season. I think we've already clinched playoffs anyway, but if there's any time where we're going to fall down and spiral downwards, it's going to be now because our form hasn't been fantastic and now our back line is falling to pieces. So it's worrying times, but hopefully we can turn this into a positive and players who don't maybe get the game time they would like, they can step up and really make a name for themselves. So I'm not going to do my usual sort of graphic for my preferred 11 because I tried to make one and I'm just changing it constantly and it's just been an absolute mess. So I'm just going to sort of discuss it at a bit of length anyway. But with Millwall, of course, this weekend, they're currently mid-table. I'm sure it was only 2-3 weeks ago. They were sort of on the peripheral of the playoffs, but they seem to be changing week in, week out then. Of course, I've got our former gaffer, Alex Neil there, the Alex Neil derby, if you will. But they have been in a very inconsistent run of form. I think sort of win one, lose one, win one, lose one. They got beat by Bristol City 2-3 weeks ago. Got beat by Leeds last time out. They beat Stoke. So if their form is anything to go by, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one. They've beat Stoke last time out. Hopefully they lose this time out. I'm clutching at straws there, but hopefully that is the case. We shall see. But of course, they have threats of their own. And I think before this sort of win one, lose one little phase going through, they just drew a plethora of games as well. So again, we don't know who's going to turn up. We know that they are a physical side. They press quite well. They're quite structured, and that's what you get with an Alex Neil side anyway. But it's just about how we play against that team because I'm fed up of teams coming to us and we just bend over at the first sight of a hard press. And as soon as we get pressed by a team, we force into hoofing it or we shit ourselves and players off the ball aren't sharp enough and moving off and wanting to move quickly because I know it sounds simple and I say it all the time, but all you need is a quick triangle around a press and you're through, which again, if the press is good enough, it isn't as easy as that. But we should have the players and the quality to be able to be sharp enough and play around a high press, which is what Millwall can operate with. But this is so for my lineup, I put Pato in goal because he's going to be there, isn't he? Now, across the back four, I've been discussing it this morning actually with Michael Bowers about what we would go with him. I think we kind of agree on a similar back four of maybe 09 at right back, Hjelde at left back, and then Seelt and Mepham in the middle. Hjelde is not ideal, but I would probably prefer Seelt in the middle to Hjelde, even though I do think Hjelde's better as a set more centrally than at left back. Seelt, of course, is going to be rusty as anything, so I think we need to be patient with him anyway. But when we did see him briefly in last time out, I do like him. He does it for a big lad. He's not bad with his feet. He's comfortable at his feet, so I don't mind that at all. And he does give you that physicality, and he is, like I said, technically gifted. I think he's all right. So I do feel somewhat comfortable with Seelt there, but again, he just plays such a little football because of his injury that would be a growing concern. Now, in the middle, of course, I'll go with Dan Neil as the sort of holder. Now, the two going a bit further forward in that three in midfield, because of so much football being played with Jobe and Rigg, if Le Fay is fully fit, and I do believe, according to reports, that he has been in full training for the best part of a week anyway, I would like to see Le Fay there. I just think he's good enough to be able to slot in there, and that is his real position. And then Brown as well. So then you've got that experience in there. So in the middle, we have that experience and equal quality with Le Fay in there, in his real position, and just really going for it. And like I said, not just sitting back and almost shitting yourself at the first sight of a high press, as I say. You've got quality players in there who are technically good enough, who should be sharp enough to really just believe in their own ability, quick passing on the ball and show off the quality on the floor and not give in to the physicality of Millwall, if that makes sense. Of course, I'd like to see Jobe in there generally as a physical presence, but I just think if we keep the ball on the ground and play the football I know these boys can play, with the likes of Le Fay and Brown in there and Dan Neil, you'd like to think we'd have enough to play around this Millwall side. Then I go for I go for Mundle on the left-hand side, maybe Roberts on the right, and then Mayenda up top, or even Mayenda on the right and Easter up top, but Roberts is going to stay regardless. But yes, like I said, I keep on chopping and changing what I would like to see, but that's kind of the general sort of team I'd like to see. I know that Jobe is going to start, or maybe even Rigg as well. But I think if Le Fay's fit, put him down the middle, let him play in his real position and give him some time, particularly heading towards the playoffs. we need to put Lafay in his actual position, give him game time, because yeah, it's going to be a bit rusty. It might not, take on 10 players and score if we see him this weekend playing his actual position, because he's going to be rusty as hell. He's been playing left wing when he has played before he got injured, so he's going to be a little bit rusty, but I'd like to think he's good enough that it'd take a few games and he will be at his best, you would like to think. But yeah, so that is kind of the team I go with. Of course, let me know in the comments down below what you think and what team you would go with as well, particularly the back four. It's going to be a bit of a mess regardless, isn't it? But in terms of my predictions for it, I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Sunderland win. I'll say it, 2-1. I think we'll concede first. I think that back four is going to concede, sadly. But I'd like to say maybe my end at a Mundle to get the double that put us in the lead and get us 3 points, which should be an outstanding weekend for me anyway, being up there. But yeah, so let us know in the comments down below what you think about everything we discussed in this video. If you have enjoyed, hit the like button for me, subscribe if you're new. It'd be massively appreciated. Take care, stay jammy. How are the lads? Keep the faith. Come on!